everyone, Board Game Brody here with Meeple Mountain showing you Cat Cafe, a roll and write game by Alley Cat Games. In the game, your goal is all about petting the most cats. To do this, you'll be placing toys, food, and making comfortable resting spots to attract the most cats to your corner. The game's components are small and simple, but don't let that fool you, as the game plays and becomes different each time that you play and can be quite strategic. Each player will need a sheet and a pencil. Depending on the number of players, you'll place a certain number of dice out on the table equal to the number of players plus 1. All players will be rolling and using the dice each round. The player who most recently pet a cat will of course go first. Each round, the first player rolls the dice, and beginning with them and going in a clockwise order, each player will pick one die to keep in front of them. The leftover die is known as the central die, and all players will use it. They will pair it with their other die to make choices on their sheet. On your sheet, each hexagon can or will have one of the 6 items drawn on it to score points according to their effects. Players can choose to use either the central die or their personal die to decide what item to be used. The number 1 represents a cat house, 2 a ball of yarn, 3 a butterfly toy, 4 a food bowl, 5 a cushion, and 6 a mouse toy. Whatever the chosen die to represent the item is, the other die determines the row in which the item will be marked. You will choose any column and mark the item by its picture or by its letter in the corresponding row. If for whatever reason you don't want to mark an item, you can instead pass. If you pass, mark a circle around 3 of the unmarked footprints on your sheet. This means after choosing your dice, you have 3 main possible options. Whenever you have available footprints, that means that they're circled and not crossed out, you may adjust the value of one or both dice. Each footprint can increase or decrease the value of the chosen die or the central die by 1. When doing this, you will mark an X on one of those circles. Use these wisely, as you might run out of them. They aren't worth any points at the end of the game, and they can be very helpful and cause you to be more flexible. Once all players have marked an item or passed, check if any player has completed a cat tower by having all hexes in that column filled with items. That player and anyone else who completed the tower will circle one of the numbers at the top of that cat tower. If you were one of the first players and you have a cat house located in that tower, you will circle the larger number. All other players will mark an X on that same number, showing that they won't be able to score those points. If you don't have a cat house when first completing the cat tower, you will score the lower number instead. After the higher number has been marked out, any player who completes that tower in later rounds can still score the lower number, even if they happen to have a cat house in that column. After all players have finished placing their item and performing any actions, the next player will roll the dice. After each player has gone and been the first player to roll the dice, the first player will move to the player to the left of the previous first player. The game ends once a player completes 3 cat towers. The current round will finish and the players will count up points. Each item has a box to write points earned for all those items located on your sheet, plus the points earned for any completed cat towers. The player with the most points wins the game, and has attracted and petted the most kitty cats. The game lies heavily on what each item does and how it is scored, so let's check them out. The mouse toy. You'll want to link these so you make a chain. If 4 mouse toys are linked together, then you'll score 20 points. You will receive 2 or 6 or 12 or 20 points by linking 1, 2, or 3, or 4 of these items together. When playing, make sure you leave a space from your first mouse toy so that you can connect it with others. The cushion. This item will score points equal to the floor number that it is drawn on, so you will want to place these items up high on the cat towers. The food bowl. This item will score 1 point for each different adjacent item. You'll want to place this item in the middle of everything to hopefully maximize points. Also, when placing all other items, you should think about placing it near a food bowl to help it score. The butterfly toy. This item gives you 3 points apiece and lets you circle 2 unmarked footprints to be used in later rounds. This is a great option if you still want to place an item and also you're looking to get footprints as well. 3 points and circling 2 footprints sound better than passing and just circling 3 footprints. The ball of yarn. This item is scored by each cat tower. Whoever has the most yarn in each tower scores 8 points. If you don't have the most but have at least 1, you score 3 points. This is great if you are the only one to place a yarn in a certain tower, because that would be 8 points for just that one item. Many players forget this item and it can be very easy points for you. The cat house. This item is done each and every time that you add this item to your sheet, unlike all the other items. You will choose one of the 6 items and score 2 points for each of those items that you have used on your sheet so far. Place those points in the corresponding cat house. The next time that you place a cat house, you'll have to choose a different item to score. Cat houses will give you more points when placing them later in the game, but they also can help give you more points when completing a cat tower. You should try to place one of these in each column that you're trying to finish. The game is very flexible near the beginning of the game, but then becomes tight when you only have so many spaces and certain items that you might be focusing on later in the game. You tend to focus on different items at the beginning of the game compared to the end. The cat house also should match this trend. After scoring points for a certain item, you will most likely not want to focus on it as much and turn your concentration toward the other items. One thing I feel like at times the game can end before it should. I'm not exactly sure why at 3 finished cat towers the game ends, but I want to finish my entire sheet and use all my footprints that I didn't use to help me to do this. It seems like when the game ends at 3 cat towers, I've barely used any of my footprints, because I haven't really needed to. If you like games where no one knows who's winning till the end, then this is for you. For how little and how few components are included in the game, this can be a little brain-burny. All in all, I will be needing to buy a new pad of sheets for the game very soon. Hopefully, you can check out Cat Cafe by Alley Cat Games and get it to your table. Again, this is Board Game Brody. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stick around and check out some other board game reviews to see what you might want to get to the table.